Good morning, everyone. Oh, morning for me anyway. All right, back at it again. Uh, I did go kind of do a little bit of roaming. Uh, to get on my Aether currents because I have a problem. But I didn't explore this half, so it's that. I love puppy. All right. In spite of the obstacles we faced, our plan proceeded apace, just a little further, and we will reach the capital itself. Still, we mustn't get ahead of ourselves. As soon as the camp has been made fit for purpose, we are to discuss the course of action with Lucia. Would you mind asking Eustola and Graha to join us in that building to the northeast of the camp? Alice and I will meet you there. A meeting? Yes, I will make my way over there once my head has cleared. In truth, I've been feeling out of sorts since we arrived. The air is thick with a palpable aura of malevolence. 'Tis the monstrous tower on the horizon, jagged, hideous, unholy. Even at this distance, its presence is overwhelming. Much like the sensation I felt in the Tower of Zot, only far more terrifying. Aether flows unceasingly towards it, converging into a swirling mass of unfathomable power. For a blessing, the constant chill in the air is helping to anchor my senses in the here and now. Tell the others I shall be with you in a few moments. Really like Raha's jacket. Like that's a nice jacket. You will be pleased to know most of the tempered have been quartered inside the nearby building and are receiving treatment as we speak. I do, however, feel no small amount of guilt for commandeering civilian homes. The occupants may be long gone, but everything is exactly as they left it. Considering the length of time that has clearly passed since one would expect to find them ransacked, strangely, there are no signs of anything having been stolen. It's possible that everyone fled at the first sign of trouble, though it seems to me that they are far too many useful possessions behind. I, although there is no convulsive evidence, I strongly suspect they were tempered. Sorry, I was merely thinking aloud. You mentioned a meeting. I will make my way there. Hey, Biscuit. Brigilla is in our care, along with the rest of the tempered. Glory to Garlemald. Glory to Garlemald. They still whisper in their sleep, even as they writhe in pain. Raubon taught me a lot about military strategy during exercises in the fringes, coordinating units with wildly different capabilities, surveying the surveying and securing hostile terrain, that sort of thing. Now, now I have the chance to put his teaching into practice. Well, at least you probably learned from the best. We've asked the Ironwork members and some of our other comrades to stay with the airship in the event we are discovered. We must be ready to move them swiftly to a safer location. What? What is it? Hey, come on. Hi. You needed it? This is all that remains of Laturum. Homes become empty husks. If this is the state of the outlying villages, I dread to think what has become of the capital. The tempered soldiers are sleeping soundly while they undergo treatment. There are too many to attend at once, but I and the other healers will see to all eventually. Hell's bells, this place is bloody freezing. Rather be tied to the topmast in a storm than suffer this cold any longer. Anyone what can spare a swig of rum? That sort me right out. Thank you for informing the others of our meeting. When everyone is here, we will begin. There's some really deep biscuits.
Our present situation is as follows. Efforts to aid the people of Garlemald have begun in earnest. Moreover, having entered into the capital, the Imperial Palace is within our reach.
But before we proceed further, we must learn what has befallen this city, for therein lies the key to understanding and combating the Telophoroid's designs.
I have a suggestion, if I may. Several of the Imperial soldiers we captured on the Magna Glacies are members of the Populares and acquaintances of mine. Once we have cured them of their tempering, they should be able to give a reliable account of the events leading to the capital's downfall.
A promising idea. I will assist the healers in their ministrations. Of course, I will require a porxia of my own, assuming you can spare one.
Would you like a hand?
No, I am sure we will manage. Better that you take my place in the field. The noxious ether of this place disagrees with me, and as I shall need to draw on my own for the treatment, 'twould be prudent for me to remain within the camp.
This talk of curing the tempered is all well and good, but I reckon the cold is a more pressing concern.
I know I said this last night, this is kind of a serious thing, but Stola looking like a whole snack right now.
All the houses round here are fitted with ceruleum heaters that could keep us warm and toasty. Problem is, the machines seem to have given up the ghost, and if we keep sitting around, freezing our asses off, we'll be next. My smiths reckon that with the right parts, they can have them working again, but it won't be easy.
Understood. The machinist will assist them in the repairs.
The rest of us should either stand watch or survey the area.
Also applies to Thancred. Looking like a whole snack.
We've made our presence known to the Telophoroi. They will be searching for us, if they have not already ascertained our position. That we have seen no sign of them since the battle suggests they have yet to do so. However, I suspect they may be biding their time.
What? Thancred looks good. I'm man enough to admit. Handsome man. Looking all rugged and shit.
Or perhaps we are beneath their notice.
In any event, we'll find no answers standing around here. Urianger, Estinian and myself have visited Garlemald recently, so we'll lead the reconnaissance efforts. Perhaps bolstered by a few Bosnian and Dalmatian scouts from my previous excursion for good measure.
Don't forget about us Alamegans. We have experienced scouts of our own.
Well now, this is turning out to be a rather sizable team. With such numbers, we should be able to cover a wide area with relative ease, including that surrounding the Imperial Palace. How about you, Graha? I have a feeling we'll find a use or two for that vanishing spell of yours.
'Twould be my honor to be of service. though I doubt that you of all people need rely on my tricks.
That leaves us with guard duty.
As a matter of fact, I have something else in mind for the two of you and Alphino. Between here and the center of the capital lies the Eblan Rime. I would have you search the area for survivors. Your keen sense of direction, honed in your extensive travels, should prove useful in navigating the ice fields.
Yes, it's amazing how I know exactly where to go all the time. Kinda crazy. Makes sense. Ice fields. I love ice fields. Oh, wait, no, I don't.
I have faith that you will, and look forward to greeting you on your safe return. You all have your duties. Let us make haste. May the Fury bless and keep you.
I'm sorry, am I wearing heels? Yes. Yes, I am. Gods be good. If it's this cold with Tartaru's clothing, I dread to think how we fare without it. I must remember to thank her when next we meet. It makes me realize, too, that while the people of Garmal have spent their whole lives in conditions like these, even they be hard-pressed to survive away from the warmth of their homes. If there are any survivors, we must find them, and quickly. Not yet. Whoa, chums! Been given something to do, have you? As it happens, I too have been ordered to make myself useful. Sounds like rather a tall order. Since you asked, we're to scour the Elven Rhine for survivors. What? Wander around Icefield on the off chance you'll find someone? You take forever to finish the job without the benefit of my expertise. Or, more specifically, my telescope. Come, friends, I know just the spot to begin our search. You would bring a whole-ass telescope. I'll probably regret this, but we may as well humor him. Oh. Right, picked up another hunt log before I started. Oh, big cat. I spy with my little telescope a massive sheep thing. Maybe it's a cow. Not what we're after, either way. Is that an aether current? No, just a wind sprite. Other than that, it's all snow, 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 but low. What do I see over yon hillock? There's no mistaking it. That's a girl. If they're like, wait, you serious? A survivor? Show me. Over there, behind that tree. It It looks like she's running away from something, though surely not us. She wouldn't even know we're here unless she had a telescope like mine. All I can tell is that she's wearing a pale green dress, a rather fetching one at that. She'll be long gone by the time we get anywhere near, but we should be able to follow her footprints. I'll let Lucia know where you're heading. Oh, and take these warning tinctures with you. Warming. The poor girl must be chilled to the bone, if not on the verge of freezing to death. That's actually very thoughtful. Thank you. But won't you need some for yourself? No, I'll be fine. As a man of chivalry, my honor demands I do no less. And lest we forget, the very reason we are here is to protect those in need. Now go, and Godspeed. Look at you actually coming up with a good idea. Alright, let's check out the footprints. A trail of fresh footprints leads east. That's some kind of abomination. These footprints appear to be the same as those you saw previously, and they lead towards the building. We're getting closer, I'm sure of it. At first, we thought she'd gone inside the building, but the door doesn't look to have been opened in some time. She might still be nearby, so we'll keep looking around. Then again, it's also possible that she ran right past this place. Would you mind searching up ahead? According to the label here, this place was used by those involved with extracting ceruleum. Let's look around. Abomination is still there, so that's good. See you. The girl in the green dress anxiously surveys her surroundings. Were you to call out to her from this distance, it might attract wild beasts to your location. It would be safer to get closer first, but you must do so without drawing her attention. So we're going to scare a kid. Follow the girl from a safe distance. Objective will end in failure if you are noticed. Make sure you make use of cover such as rocks and approaching her without being seen. Similarly, the objective will also end in failure if you're too far behind. Should you fail to complete the objective, return here. I know how to do this. I've played Metal Gear Solid before. very difficult doing this walk. Oh. Damn it. Isn't it to say, like, down there? I really thought I could just make it to that tree and BK. This part's easy. It does a run. Ugh. So I never said I was good at Metal Gear Solid. Yes, just imagining things. Don't worry about it. I'm assuming this rock up here. Yep, no one's here. Don't worry about it. That is not a rose. Oh shit, turn! I was a bit close. Tree. Rock. Yay. Did good that time. Ooh, still in one piece. What's up? Who are you? Stay back. This house is packed with explosives. Take another step and I'll blow this place sky high. Please, we just want to talk. I'm Alpha Node. This is my sister, Alice, and our good friend Vamron. We have no intentions of hurting or taking anything from you or anyone else. I give you my word. We and our comrades have come to provide aid to the people of Garlemald. Aid? You savages are the one responsible for all of this. You did this to us. We didn't. I promise you. One of the other reasons we came was to find out what happened here, in fact. The Telefri are the ones to blame. They're the ones who laid waste to Garlemald, and they won't stop until they've destroyed the entire world. They're the enemy. Our enemy. On our way, we encountered Imperial soldiers who have been made their thralls. Those poor souls are now in our care, and we are striving to cure them of their affliction. You're the first person we've met who wasn't already enslaved. How were you able to escape the Telefri's influence? Are there any others like you? I'm sorry, I don't mean to overwhelm you. Let's start with introduction. Can you tell me your name? My name is Licinia. As for how I managed to stay sane, I've been asking myself the same question. Ever since that night, and the roar, that terrible roar, and then the screams. I was screaming too, I think. I'm not sure. I can't remember. Then came the silence. Everything was still. It was like waking up from a nightmare. I thought that maybe the fighting had stopped when I stepped outside. If your hells are real, I saw one that day. I ran, past friends, people I've known all my life, eyes vacant, dead, staring at the sky. Others were mad and violent. I saw them struggle with soldiers, but didn't stay to watch. I fled, as far as my legs would take me. Do you have family here? Is this their home? No, this is Victor Spoils, a mansion for retired soldiers. Or it was. But now me and the few others are, borrowing it. As for the explosives, I was making that up. I just want to keep everyone else safe. I didn't know if you were. The truth is, our supplies are running low. You said you're here to help. Can you? Of course. Whatever assistance we can provide, we will. Thank you. I'd better tell the others first, though. Wait here. This is everyone. Lucinia says you can be trusted, but these are desperate times. We'd be forced to let foreign troops into our home. Having said that, were you to provide us with means of heating the place, as a sign of goodwill, perhaps we could take you at your word. If that is too much to ask, then leave us be. Time to put my firewood gathering skills to use. Could you provide the spark with a little magic, Alice? We'll have a fire burning in no time. May we build it under the gazebo? The what? Oh, you mean the bower? Yes, yes, do as you will. It's like, it's a gazebo. Sorry, I'm still finding it hard to come to terms with all that happened. Now that you're here, though, I'm hoping things might change for the better. You know, I've worked up quite a sweat from all that running around, so I'll leave space around the fire for the others. As you can tell, they're in a far worse state than me. We were planning to look for somewhere warmer or with more food, but they're not going anywhere until we nurse them back to health, which I don't know how to do. Is there anything you can do to help them? Possibly. Oh, that's nice. I can feel my fingers again. Oh god, that's the worst. All's well. All's well. With food in my belly and a song in my heart. What they need most is a decent meal. We food back at the camp, but there's the distance to consider. I can treat their frostbites and their wounds, but it will take some time for the fire to do its work. Now would be a good occasion to make use of Emelian's tinctures, the ones that can warm the body from the inside out. Would you make sure everyone gets one? The numbness is beginning to subside, though I suspect once the fire dies, it will return with a vengeance. We can get it from the inventory. Hi, baby cat. Warming tinctures? I've never heard of such a thing. No harm in trying. But tell me, have you heard aught of the city? Though calling it that seems absurd after what happened. It's nothing but ruins now. The few buildings still standing offer no more than meager protection from wind and snow. Food production, water purification, the magic tech that sustained us had come to a grinding halt. What machina that remains operational cannot be run for lack of ceruleum. Of course, cereal ingus is full of the stuff for all the good it does us. No one here knows the first thing about extracting or refinement. Oh, what sweet liberation is this? Is it poison by any chance? Dear God. 'Twas a joke, 'twas a joke. If I laughed, 'tis that I may not weep. So said the poet, and alas, my tears would freeze on my cheeks ere they fell. We are the blessed damned, who bear witness to the fall of the great empire, while our brethren lie dead, or live on a puppet of flesh. First came the war, then came the roar. When morning came, Garlemald was no more. In a cacophony of gunfire, explosions, and screams was our beloved capital razed to the ground. From the rubble rose the disheveled remnants, their lavish finery caked in ash as they shuffled mindlessly towards the palace, each bearing a fragment of stone or metal, an offering perhaps to the architect of our destruction. A hopeful few tried to reason with the deranged, only to be beaten for their kindness. But I knew better than to plead with the horde. I fled with my health, if not my conscience preserved. Now I wait with my fellow cowards for our final judgment. Indicate you're falling. What do you want? A tincture. May as well drink it, I suppose. This is a radio. You don't have them where you come from, I take it. We use them to listen to messages sent by others. even over great distances. They are quite different types, but this model is by far the most popular. Made with quality components crafted with the finest ore. Sourced from Locus Emeris, it is. Not all that useful since the capital fell into ruin. The people at the broadcasting station must have either fled or ended up like the others, because all we've been hearing is the same music, being played over and over again. Home beyond the horizon, an ode to the brave men and women sent to reclaim our ancestral homeland of Locus Emerons. We may have founded an empire in these frozen ways, but we always hope to take back what was once ours. 'Tis a solemn reminder that though we must suffer great hardship, better days will surely come. Despite everything, I believe that Emperor Varus yet lives, and that he speaks to us through our radios. It was a cunning strategy, faking his murder. He must have foreseen this catastrophe and chosen to conceal himself, that he may one day make his triumphant return. Working on it, baby cat. Yes, yes, I'm sure of it. Emperor Varus would not be defeated so easily. Well, keep the faith. Hell, you might be right. Who knows? What's that? So this is what you gave the others. Thank you. I'll save it for later. Actually, I have a few things to ask you. Are you part of the group staying in Laterum? I saw Legatus Virgil's troops heading towards the Magus Glaciers a few days ago. Are they the ones you encountered? Yep, tried killing us. We knocked them out. I can't read, Uncat. Hey, come on. Come on. Camp Broken Glass, you call it. And Virgil's and her men are all there now. So how did you reach the Magnus Glaciers? Did you cross the mountains on foot? Airship. Airships? Then there might be a way to... Lucinia, where is everyone? Is something the matter? A voice from inside, you say? You must be imagining things. Everyone's out here. Jake, this is how people get stabbed. Perhaps a baby almost has found its way into the house. It won't be the first time. Without the soldiers to scare them all, wild animals have been roaming closer to the settlements. Some have been known to attack people too. I've just had an idea. If you and yours are strong enough to defeat a Legatus, then surely a few beasts shouldn't pose a threat. If you have a mind to continue helping us, perhaps you could head to the other side of the lake. There's a small group of trappers living there, people whose job was to extract ceruleum. They still do, from what we can tell. I've already tried asking if they would share their fuel with us, but they're not willing to give it away. They want food in exchange. Lots of food. And that's something we don't have, and can't get on our own. On top of that, to even reach their den, we'd have to make our way past all those creatures. Would you be willing to go in our place? We only need enough ceruleum to last until the others are strong enough to travel to your camp. If the offer still stands, that is. Oh, and I don't expect you to give up your own supplies, but there might be another way to pay the trappers. Best watch out for baby Osmus while we're away. Oh, yes, of course. If I see any, I'll be sure to shoo them away. To reach Trapper's Den, you'll have to cross the lake. The ice is thick enough to support a person's weight, but if you'd rather not take the risk, you'll need to take the long way around. Finding the entrance can be a bit tricky too, so it's easier to just look for someone standing guard outside. However, you decide to head there. Please be careful. It's okay, I have a tank. Not gonna lie, a baby one of those would be cute as hell. Uh, no fates yet. Haven't unlocked Gemstone person, so I can get my riding map. Who goes there? How did you find us? Have my way, sir. What do you mean I stand out like a sore thumb? If the purebloods over at Victor Spoils hadn't given away our location, you'd never have found us. Those stuck-up arseholes. Though they could come waltzing in here demanding cerulean with nothing to offer in return. Ha! Looks like the boot's on the other foot now. The capital's gone to shite. So, they've resort to sending you to negotiate. I know your game, sellsword. If you think we'll give in to intimidation, they got another thing coming. I mean, we don't have to do this, but you insist. So, tell me, how does this work out for y'all? What do we learn? How about you? Are you a bit more steady-minded? There you are. Just after you left, Lucia asked me to go and catch up with you in case you needed a hand. Someone must have let slip that I've little experience in transporting barrels of cerulean. So this is Trapper's Den. Well then, after you. Who are you? What happened to the guards? They got bold. Aorzeans and rebels here to save the people of Garlemald? That doesn't make any goddamn sense. Why in the hells would you pass up the chance to put those Imperial bastards to the sword? Let me guess. None of you are Garlean. You were brought here from other lands. Garabanya, Yanxia, Baja, Damascus, to name but a few, so dragged here against our will. Other fed bullocks about a better life. All put to work extracting cerulean. All given the esteemed title of Ah, placing us firmly at the bottom rung of the ladder. But the old hierarchy means nothing in the new Garlemald, says we. About the only thing that escapes more or less unscathed is Ceruleus Ingus, still sustaining us, even with our paymasters out of the picture. We hear you're experts in drawing on cerulean from the bottom of the lake. But how can you do that if it's frozen over? Ha! Wouldn't you like to know? Trade secret, I'm afraid. At any rate, it's not as if cerulean is used for much these days. With a city in ruins, we take enough power to power our heaters and save the surplus for later. And though it helps save off the cold, it does sod all about our hunger unless we can trade it away. Speaking of which, be sure to tell your contingent we've got cerulean by the barrelful. If they're interested, we'll exchange it for whatever provisions they're willing to spare. We can certainly ask, but if you're all free to go now, why carry on living here? Free to go? Go where? Even if we managed to get back to our homelands, there'd be nothing left for us, thanks to the Empire, and the knowledge and skills we require working here would be practically useless outside Garlemald. So here we're staying for the time being. Long as there's a need for cerulean, we'll find a way to get by, even if Garlemald, as we knew it, is gone for good. Gone for good? Regardless of what Ilsberg contingent does for the people of Garlemald, the Empire itself is already a thing of the past. For many, that would be the cause for celebration, while for others, their whole way of life will have been turned upside down. After all the atrocities committed in the Empire's name, perhaps it is for the best that it is co-signed to history. But what of the ordinary people, their lives, their stories? Should they be forgotten too? I suppose there'll be plenty of time to ponder that later. For now, let's see about getting some cerulean. So, you've come seeking cerulean, have you? What? Those purebloods up at Victor's Spoils sent you? To turn to their enemies for help. They must be more desperate than I thought. Then again, Lucina got her little sister to think about. A sister? But we only saw Lucina and 3 men. It's possible she died from whatever was ailing her. If she needed treatment, I doubt there'd be any way to get around it here. I may have refused Lucina at first, thinking she'd come back with something to exchange, but I can spare them a bottle worth of cerulean. Consider it a reward for introducing me to the rest of your contingent. Be sure to send them our way, you hear? Oh, that was actually quite nice of you. I can't for the life of me think why Lucina would keep her sister a secret from us, but we can ask about that after we deliver this cerulean. Come on, let's hurry back. Let's sit here and just cruise in the car. So on a side note, I really love the music here. It just fits with the tone and vibe of this place so much. If they're here. I really doubt they're here, not gonna lie. Yeah, that's what I thought. This isn't right. It's too quiet. I would have thought Alphino would still be treating them by the fire, but they're nowhere to be seen. I'll look inside the house while you search outside. They can't have gone far. I was like, well, shit, I really don't know where they are. Oh, fuck. What the hell happened here? They asked me to help carry supplies, but then I followed them back here. They attacked me, caught me off guard, forced me to defend myself. I fear they fared rather worse than me. You can't fool us. We know what you're about. Vultures. That's what you are. Waiting in the wings for us to show weakness. Then you swoop. Here to help? What rot. All a ploy. To make us lower our guard. Let you in, put ourselves at your mercy, then put us in chains. Steal our lands, get your revenge. Nope. You're wrong. That's not what any of us want. Save the arguments for later. We got bigger problems. I found empty medicine bottles and a bed that was still warm. It's true. Lucina was hiding her sick sister inside the house. But now, there's no sign of either of them. Where are they? Where did they go? Away from you and yours. And if you think I'll tell you, you're a fool. I'd never give up my people. We're trying to help them, you idiot. Her sister, ill. The empty bottles prove it. So the medicine ran out. Or she put it in her pockets to make it easier to carry. Or to avoid the sound of clinking glass. There are beasts everywhere. How could you let them go alone? To protect them from you. You invade our homeland, taint it with the same sorcery used to slay our countrymen. A Garland should sooner die than suffer the insult. Better for them to flee, keep their purity intact, than be corrupted by your vile magics. We were waiting for a chance to free them, since the moment you arrived. This is getting us nowhere. I cannot say how Lucina and her sister will react when we find them, but find them we must. Go on without me, both of you. I first need to tend to my injuries, and theirs. I will join you in the search after. Alright, be careful. We'll do our best to find them quickly. There's only one path out of here, so that's where we'll start. Time to start looking. Two sets of fresh footprints. Young women, judging by their size. This is definitely them. Come on. Ugh. Once again, goes to show you, pride will be the death of us all. This troll stops at the frozen lake. Perhaps they chose this route so as not to leave footprints. I can't think of any other reason. Look at this place. It's crawling with beasts, and I can only imagine how hard it must be for her ailing sister to cross the ice. We could really do with Alphinote's help, but we can't afford to wait for him. Let's split up and look for clues. Wow. That's a huge area. Next time I get back to town, I'll take care of... Oh. Oh, that's not good. The blood staining the snow appears to be fresh. Judging by the amount, the victim may have been severely wounded. The trail of blood leads southeastwards. Dear Lord. Oh, damn. The two bodies are already cold. Up.
Blood trail. We found one. They were attacked. No. Why? Why wouldn't they?
Safer to brave the wilds than trust in our magic. We should have... I should have... We can't leave them like this. We have to take them home.
What if we're only making it worse?
Maybe we don't belong here, but neither do they. Not out here in the wind and the cold.
I heard the story about Varus's voice from beyond the grave. Of course, I didn't believe it, but Licinia and her sister did. Perhaps there is something to the tale after all. I want to understand. So I'm going to borrow this for a while, if that's all right. You had every reason not to trust us. We came as trespassers, invaders. But I pray that in time, we will be more than that to you. That we will find a way to help your loved ones. And see that no more children are left to freeze alone in the snow.
There must have been something we could have done. But what? Should we never come here? Would they still be alive if we hadn't? Only we had a chance to talk things over. But it's too late now. Too late by far. We have already caused enough harm here. Let us return to the camp before we cause any more. As for those inside the house, we should send someone to take care of them. Someone who isn't us. All we can do for now is to make our report to Lucia, and do everything in our power to prevent further tragedy. So let us linger here no more. Come. Well, that happened. I'll be right back. Go and give me some more coffee. And just try not to think about how just pretty much 2 kids just died. So, I'll be back. Okay. Any roads. Forgive me for saying, but the three of you appear rather drained since your return. Is there aught I might do to be of assistance? Is something the matter? The twins look out of sorts, and you seem a bit off. Treatment of the temper is proceeding as well as can be expected. If there is anything to report, you will be sure to know. Though I gather you have a report of your own to deliver. Would you mind giving Lucia a full report? We mustn't forget to send some of our allies to Trapper's Den. We still owe them for the bottle of ceruleum. Alice and Alphino tell me that they have finished our preliminary search for survivors, but refrain from saying much more than that. Clearly, they are reluctant to provide details. Might I ask for your account? Yeah, so this is what happened.
Thank you for your report. We shall inform the troops of these developments and instruct them to proceed with the utmost caution should they encounter any survivors.
Allow me to go and speak with the ones at the victor's spoils. They may be more willing to listen to a fellow Garlean and accept our offer of assistance.
I pray you are right. And though I am loath to burden you any further, should there be an appropriate occasion to speak of Licinia and her sister, please do so.
I am sorry to have put you through this.
My distress is nothing compared to their suffering. So tell me, what else have we learned?
As you may have already heard, we have succeeded in curing the members of the Populares, Maxima identified. They have provided us with some intriguing insights into the current state of Garlemald. The assassination of Emperor Varus was the catalyst for the civil war. Nerva declared his claim to the throne, and his opponents refused to recognize it. Fighting broke out in the capital, where Nerva's 3rd Legion clashed with the 1st, who remained loyal to Varus even after his death.
Of course, even Imperial warmongers would balk at the idea of turning their shining city into a battleground. Like burning down the wood to spite the wasps. Neither side would be so mad. Unless something or someone inflamed their animosity to such an extent that they could not help but act against their better judgment.
It brings to mind events at the Gimlet Dark, does it not? The Emperor's sudden withdrawal from the front lines, specifically. Nerva and his father, Titus, Varus's then political rival, took advantage of rumors that Crown Prince Zenos had been possessed by a demon.
Elidibus, what better way to disparage your enemies than with the truth, or a close enough approximation?
Indeed. But before their accusations could be substantiated, many of Titus's followers were silenced. While some were merely stripped of their status, others died under curious circumstances. One after another, suddenly and suspiciously.
Again, Elidibus. Like as not, he had a hand in it. No evidence was found to implicate Varus, certainly. Nevertheless, Titus, Nerva, and the 3rd Legion would have judged it a brazen attempt by the Emperor to rid himself of his political enemies. And then, in the midst of this growing turmoil, Varus Sosgalvus is murdered. And Garlemald's own prodigal son, Gaius van Belsar, is named the murderer. Shortly thereafter, Nerva claims the right of succession, and in response, The First Legion claims the assassination was part of a coup d'etat orchestrated by Titus and Nerva.
So no one is at fault, and everyone else is to blame.
I should add that both parties received substantial financial backing, presumably to provide them with the means and encouragement to pursue a swift victory, and that these contributions came from the self-same benefactor.
I'd heard House Brutus had been filling the Third Legion's coffers, but the First as well.
It would seem so. Though the Populares determined that the First Legion received funds from a variety of organizations, all had connections to House Brutus.
So Fandaniel, in the guise of Asahi, was playing both sides against each other the entire time.
The information we gained from my friends does not end there. One night, shortly after fighting broke out, the capital was shaken by an immense tremor. From that point onward, they have no memories, no recollection of any events, including our clash on the Magna Glaciers. But when asked about the Imperial Palace and its bizarre transformation, they somehow recall Emperor Varus giving them orders in their dreams. May the Tower of Babel stand as testament to the glory of Garlemald.
This sounds awfully familiar.
We have something to show you all.
Varus spoke to them through this radio. Perhaps it was a recording, but if not, that would be inexplicable.
We are of one mind, then.
The ether that permeates the ore used in this device is almost identical to that of the talismans.
I see it. While it is likely more by coincidence than design, these devices might also ward against a primal's influence. A picture is beginning to form. If the tremor felt throughout Garlemald was a wave of ether emitted by a primal, then while those within range would have been tempered, those huddled around a radio desperate for news concerning the Civil War would have been spared.
No wonder Licinia kept it close.
My friends, I must speak with you.
The power of a radio, apparently.
A young man was caught trying to steal our supplies. He is a soldier of the Iron Men, we think, but one who has not been made thrall. Thankfully, Magni restrained him before blood was spilled. The stranger is outside, if you wish to ask him questions.
I think we do.
Who do we have here?
Garleans?
Traitors to your homeland! Have you no shame?
I am Lucia Junius, a Temple Knight of Ishgard. And you are?
Iulus Pier Norbanus. And that's all you invaders will get from me.
We are not here to invade Garlemald. Far from it. Like you, our allies in Eorzea and the Far East fight in defense of their lives and their loved ones even as we speak. But it is the people of Garlemald who have suffered most. This we know. And that is why we have come to offer you our aid, that we may unite against our common foe. Whether you believe me or not, those are the facts. Now, answer me this. Why would a proud soldier of the Empire be reduced to stealing? The situation must be dire indeed for you to go to such lengths. If it is supplies you seek, we would gladly share ours, or turn a blind eye while you leave with your spoils.
I will not negotiate. My commander will determine how to deal with you and yours. If you wish to treat with him, I will take you, but no more than 3.
I don't much like the sound of that. But if we do accept his proposal, I suggest the 2 of us and...
Please allow me and Alize to act as envoys.
May I ask why?
We have seen with our own eyes the hardships the Garleans face. How their futures and lives hang in the balance.
It's not the warmest invitation, but it's an opportunity to prove our intentions true. Maybe not a chance to make things right, but a chance to make them better.
Going with you.
I can see that persuading you otherwise is a lost cause, but you will proceed with the utmost care.
Couple of children and what? A sellsword? Is this an insult?
Oh, you have no idea, Julius.
Not in the least. You will find that they are more than qualified to speak on our behalf.
There are many dangers on the road ahead. I will need that back.
I worry they were not in the best state of mind to volunteer for this undertaking, but what done is done. I know you will take good care of them, and yourself as well, I trust. They are resilient in the face of hardship, you as well. But good intention and stubborn determination alone will not be enough to bring our mission to a successful conclusion. Be on your guard. Julius Nobris. It is unusual for one so young to achieve such a high rank. Very unusual. His uniform identifies him as a member of the First Legion, which has a particularly fierce reputation. Whoever his superior may be, I advise you to approach them with caution. We captured the boy as he was about to make off with our food. He must be very hungry to take such risks. Maybe we should give him something to eat, reward him for his boldness. Perhaps it is unwise to volunteer for a mission so soon after the previous disaster. Nevertheless, I shall not squander this opportunity. I know, this won't bring back Lucinia or her sister. Taking the same risk, making the same mistakes, it's possible, but better to try than give up. Every time. The lowly task of watching over provision would not normally befit the son, but these being unusual circumstances, I will let no man take that which is not by rights theirs. Said your farewells, have you? You will be received as invited guests, and so I urge you to observe proper social etiquette and conduct yourselves accordingly. Your safe return takes precedence above all else. Remember this. Thancred, in particular, will be worried sick if you're gone too long. May the Fury watch over and keep you. Are you and the children ready? I'll explain the route once we're outside your camp. If anyone attempts to follow us, we will judge it in an act of hostility. We will not hesitate to take appropriate measures. I would expect nothing less. You have our full cooperation. Where do you think their headquarters are? I assume there are a few others besides him and this commander he mentioned. We will do only as instructed. After all, this is what we have been striving for ever since we arrived. Alright, this is far enough. Listen carefully. We head over that hill, then follow the road until we reach Linium Station 4. Children in the lead. I want you where I can see you. We do have names, you know. I'm Alice, and he's Alpha Node. And last but not least, there's Vamron. Vamron. Where have I heard that before? No matter. Alpha Node and Alice will watch the road ahead, while we bring up the rear. I wasn't lying about there being many dangers. So you're to run, not saunter, run. Towards the station. If you even think about going for your weapon, the deal's off. Could any creature bar the way, we go around them. Once you choose to part, Julius will accompany you. After Alice, moving towards the destination. Make your way to Limit Station 4 without falling behind. If you leave Julius behind for any reason or lose sight of Alpha and Alice, ready to make a dash for the station. This must be the road he mentioned. We follow this, it should lead to the station. Not the easiest surface to run on. Once again, other games. This is what escort missions should be like. Where I can fully hold down my controller and I do full runs. You better not draw attention. This is how it's done correctly. Not that, like, too fast to walk, but too slow to run. This is it. The first stop, that is. Good. It looks like your friends knew better than to follow us. Are these your headquarters? No. We're stopping here so I can check for pursuers. Since it appears you've kept to your side of the bargain, we can carry on. Fair. I wonder what sort of condition Julius and his commander are living in. If they've any sense, they'll have picked somewhere like Victor's Spoils to take shelter. We're getting closer to the Imperial Palace, if one can still call it that. It truly is a terrifying sight to behold. North of the station is Rigo's Dormium, one of the main residential areas, or at least it was. The afflicted roam the streets in packs. They'll tear us to shreds if given the chance. Keep close. No wandering off. Understood? From here, we'll be heading northeast, keeping to the left of the railway. While the route itself is straightforward, getting past the hordes unseen is anything but. Keep your weapons at the ready. They would attack their own countrymen. Aye, they spare their own but slaughter the rest without hesitation. Though they will try to avoid detection, the chances of sneaking by completely unnoticed are slim at best. I will lead the way, but in the event we are seen, you're to fight them off. Those two will follow us, providing they can refrain from drawing their weapons. While I doubt they would be foolish enough to stab their guide in the back, I will not take the chance. With that said, let us proceed. So I guess I'm looking at Yes. I see why your comrades chose you. Julius, our contingent has a cure for the inflicted, or tempered as we call them. Your people would need to be taken into custody that we may administer the treatment, but they would eventually regain their sanity. Is that so? For all I know, your treatment will simply force them to forsake one master for another. As far as I and my legion are concerned, they are no longer our people. They're beyond saving. Those who thought differently and tried to reason with them were butchered for their bleeding hearts. Come, we have to keep moving. Looks like we're not being followed. We will continue on. I meant what I said. These people deserve only death. I stayed my hand before only out of a desire to remain undiscovered. And that is still the higher priority. We should continue to avoid any unnecessary confrontations. Keep following the railway. I guess I'm going to this city right here. I guess these are like a little more worst case scenarios to get Cthulhu monsters. Look at what they've become. Would you still stand there and claim that they can be cured? Those exposed to a vast quantity of primal ether may suffer severe corruption. Even with treatment, such victims are beyond salvation. Then you admit it. Now that you have seen these monstrosities for yourselves, perhaps you will think twice before speaking of a cure. I mean, yeah, if you just want to look at the worst case scenario. Asshat. We're almost there. You have kept your side of the agreement, so I will keep mine. This way. This is Titium, one of Garlean's largest stations. It now serves as our headquarters. I've already sent the twins ahead. I will be with you soon, so wait for me at the bottom of the stairs. I like it. It's plain to see why they chose this as their base of operation. They could have done a lot worse. Even so, I imagine it's not the easiest place to live. Indeed, and if Julius was willing to make the perilous journey to Camp Broken Glass in search for food, their own supplies must be all but exhausted. They may be shielded from the wind and snow, but it's still bitterly cold. Much like Victor's spoils, it must be a constant struggle to keep their people warm. Lower your voices. While you may be here as my guest, the others will not take kindly to your presence. My commander is in the locomotive over there. First, we're going to hit this aetherite real quick. Never mind. We are not going to hit that aetherite. Want to talk to Julius? I guess.
These are their chosen representatives.
Very well. Let us hear what they have to say.
Yes, sir. I present to you our commander, Lord Quintus Vankina, Legatus of the First Legion.
The first? I had no idea you had survived.
We lost our emperor, our city, more than half our troops. For my wounds, I may never take the field again. But we survived, aye. In a manner much to your liking, I dare say.
Okay, so I was wrong about that from the launch trailer. I really thought that was Nero.
We have no intention of adding to your misfortunes, nor do we bear you any ill will.
Spare me. Though you children may speak in earnest, overtures of peace ever ring hollow in my ears. So long as man stands to profit from his neighbor's suffering, war is inevitable. Driven from our ancestral homeland into this blasted waste. Yet still you yearned to rob us of our paltry scraps. 'Twas only with Magitech that you learned to keep your distance. Though we knew it was only a matter of time before you regrouped and returned. Conquest and empire were our only defenses. Emperors Solus and Varys understood this, and through their campaigns saw us grow and prosper. Much blood has been spilled in Garlemald's name, aye. But if it is a choice between yours and mine, then it is hardly a choice at all.
I do not deny that a great many conflicts throughout history were driven by the desire or necessity to gain by another's loss. That is not why we are here.
Give me a moment, that's work. That awkward moment when one of your bosses forget you're off today. But he did wish me happy birthday, so that was nice.
Nor have we come to petition your aid in the war with the Telophoroi, grave though that threat may be. Our purpose is simply this. We wish to help you. Let us help you. If there is aught that can be done to ease your plight, we would be glad to do it.
Perhaps you would. But regardless of the ideals you espouse, your leaders would not send an army into Garlemald if they did not stand to benefit. If we accept their aid, they will expect their efforts to be rewarded once the Telophoroi are no longer a threat. And after compensation and concessions, the great empire would be brought to heel. Her enemies rejoice at her downfall. Our third eye, a mark of shame.
We won't stand idly by and let your people be humiliated. And we're not alone in that. We only want to make a difference, to make this world of ours better. Surely you can understand that. What I'm trying to say is, there are so many people who just don't care about making you suffer. And maybe that's almost insulting after all the suffering you feel the world has subjected your people to, but believe it or not, that's the truth. And now we're here, and all we're asking is for you to tell us what you want, what you hope for.
So much blood has been shed, so much lost. All because of this endless war. Who wouldn't want to end it? Can we not work together to face our problems as one?
Answer me this, young peacemakers. If a world without conflict is your desire, why reject the unity and prosperity of Garlemald? Is it because we do not share your faith? That we do not share your heritage? That our ideals and virtues differ? That we cherish and hold in the highest that which you do not? Disparity is the root of discord, and peace built on compromise is flawed and fleeting. Happiness for one and all is a dream, and the reality is that to the victor go the spoils. That is why we Garleans will never submit nor surrender. For freedom and for pride, we will remain true to ourselves until the bitter end. That is my hope. It seems there is nothing more to say on the matter. You will remain here while I decide what is to be done with you. Do not be alarmed. No harm will come to you if you cooperate.
We will not resist. However, as your guests, I ask that we be allowed to speak with the other members of your group.
As you wish. I had no intention of locking you up, as by dawn you would be frozen stiff and you're no good to me dead. You are free to move about the encampment, but there is one condition. Collar them.
What are these?
Incentive. You'll be watched at all times. Stray too far or act suspiciously, and we will administer a rather painful shock. Stop. Keep away from that one.
We can already know better.
The champion of Eorzea is not so easily cowed. Even if he allowed himself to be collared, the shock would be no more than an itch. No. If he refuses to obey, we will activate the twins' restraints instead.
You needn't worry about us.
We'll forget we're even wearing them soon enough.
Even now, you still Why go to such lengths? What is it all for? You are a curious one. A far cry from the merciless barbarian others paint you to be. You will be their warden. Take them away.
Yes, sir.
Oh. Like, I see their point, and I get it, kinda, but it's still annoying. You would, Vish. You would. I have to remind myself not to touch it, even if it starts to itch. I'd rather not set it off by accident. Anyways, enough about that. Let's learn what we can from the refugees. It will take more than a trifle such as this to deter us. Compared to what Garlemald's people have suffered in recent days, these colors are a minor inconvenience. As per Lord Quintus's instructions, I am to supervise you during your time here in Tyrion. Before you ask, no, I don't have a key or any other means to remove your collars, nor would I tell you if I did. And if you try anything, you'll soon wish you hadn't. So, do you truly intend to speak with the others, or was that merely a ruse? We're in no hurry to disobey Lord Quintus, if that's what you mean, or if you doubt the wisdom of his decision. Do as you will, but remember, I will be watching. If I catch wind of you doing anything untoward, trying to trick our people into turning their coats and the like, those shock collars will be the least of your worries. Understood? Though we are somewhat compromised, to put it lightly, let's not waste this opportunity. I suggest splitting up and learning what we can of their situation. Above all else, don't use magic of any sort. You, on the other hand, may go wherever you wish, even outside the camp. I know full well I couldn't stop you if I tried. But do not forget, if you do anything to endanger us or our interests, Alphino and Alice will pay the price. It's you, Vamron Hunter. I served under Lord Gaius in the 14th Legion. I was there on the night the Praetorium fell. You and your adventurers, you killed them, my comrades, my friends. Swept them aside in their dozens as though they were nothing to you. And maybe I am too, just another faceless enemy to be cut down. But it won't be long until our countrymen return, until you get what you deserve. Mark my words. So cold. The young soldier is on the verge of losing consciousness. I know who you are, the so-called champion of Eorzea. Come to gloat, have you? I'll wipe that smirk off your face. By the blood of our fallen compatriots, I swear I'll... Damn, tore the sutures. of all the times. The worst of the lot within striking distance, and I can't even muster the strength. If it weren't for the Lord bleeding us, we'd be the end of you. Volgar's treachery nearly cost Quintus's life, but he made our escape, took shelter in a mansion, tended to the wounded as we prepared to strike back, and then night fell, and we gathered around the radio. Then the roar, the terrible roar. The capital was in chaos, but we were spared. If you can call this a mercy, mind intact but body broken, a soldier in name alone, I'd cut you down where you stand if I could, murderer. This radio is the same model as one that used at Vintage Sports. Perhaps it is what saved the soldiers here from being tempered. Not crazy, just being so undeniably hated. So cold, and probably hasn't had a proper meal in days. If only we brought some food with us, or perhaps I could use a little magic to. No, I mustn't. God, this is so frustrating. Is there aught we may do to ease your woes? You came with Julius, didn't you? Well, whatever business brought you here, you'd best keep your hands off that aetheryte. It's deactivated, but I'd rather you didn't mess about with it. There are others throughout the city, built by Garlands, for Garlands. Could teleport all over in the blink of an eye, provided there was a terminal nearby. These days, however, we use the aetheryte's power to keep this place lit, though that comes at the cost of its normal function. Did you learn anything of note? They despise us. Then your findings are consistent with my own. Their plight is desperate indeed. The sick and injured are at great risk. Without warmth and proper nutrition, I fear they will soon perish. I realize this is precious little we can do for them at the present, but I cannot bear to see them suffer. Please, will you help me tend to them? Who's there? My eyes, I can't see all that well. Ah, thank you. The numbness has subsided a little. But I know I won't last much longer. You should look to the others who can still fight. Give them my ration. If me going hungry means someone else lives to see another day, so be it. At least I can still serve in that way. So those you met fare no better. I was afraid you would say that. I know we were warned against meddling in the affairs, but we cannot leave them like this. Perhaps we might gain permission to have the contingent deliver supplies. Quintus may have made his feelings on the matter quite clear, but even he must recognize they are not in a position to refuse help. Maybe Julius could persuade him, though we need to persuade Julius first. Well, seen enough. Julius, the people here have barely enough food and fuel to survive. Have you and the other soldiers been able to procure any more supplies? We've been scavenging provisions from the nearby houses, as most families kept rather, some stored away in the event they were snowed in. Still, going out and getting it is dangerous work, and we've a lot of mouths to feed. Fuel is the greater concern, though. We had some ceruleum set aside until it was stolen. We haven't identified the culprit. Could have been other refugees, or one of the afflicted for all we know. Either way, we're down to the last dregs, without the heating they need. Those in poor health are only going to get worse instead of better. If it's ceruleum you need, our contingent has secured a ready supply. We can have some sent over. We will not accept your charity. If we can hold on a little longer, the situation is sure to change. Sure to change. Aye, everything will change. Heard something of it, have you? Well, from what I've seen, there's little you could do to interfere, so there's no harm in telling you. One of our scouts spotted a hooded man issuing instructions to the afflicted, or, in the bassest words, loyal servants of the Telephorai. Then he made his way inside the Imperial Palace, or what stands in its place. We identified the seat of the enemy's power, we realized. Lord Quistis dispatched a messenger to the 10th Legion, saying as much, and instructed them to join forces with the Provincial Legion to prepare for a combined assault on the Telephorai. Once our allies arrive, your contingent will be sent running for the hills. Then we shall reclaim the capital by our own hand. And how do you intend to survive in the meantime? At this rate, many of your countrymen will perish long before reinforcements reach Garlemald. They need help now. Say the word and we will bring you ceruleum. You know he's right. I will speak with Lord Quistis. So, did he agree to do it? No, he will not place Garlemald in the debt of her enemies. I have, however, been ordered to search for ceruleum outside. As you are under my watch, you will come with me. Very well. After all, many hands make light work. You lot are more trouble than you're worth. Once we are outside, you will follow my instruction to the letter. We depart shortly. We will begin our search for ceruleum in Rigo's... Nope. The first location is Forum Solus, a park to the northwest of the station. You are to remain close at all times and act only as ordered. Follow me. Bit fitting. This is the place. So, this is the park. I'm surprised they found space for one amongst all these buildings. Actually, the recreational areas came first. The houses were later built around them. A healthy society requires communal space for children to play and adults to socialize. This park was named after the founding father of the empire, the great Solus Valgalvus. Did we come to extract cerulean from the wrecked Magitech armor? No, we've already drained it dry. Same goes for the rest of the Machina in the vicinity. But as our cerulean have been stolen, we must scour the city for every last drop. And while I don't expect to find anything here, I decide to try one more time, in case something has been overlooked. I see. Then with your permission, we will commence the search. Though rather small by Garlean standard, the structure is reminiscent of a merchant stall. Perhaps it was built for children to play at shopkeeper. There is nothing inside resembling Magitech or any other device that would be fueled by cerulean. A curious inspection of the wrecked Magitech armor confirms that the fuel canisters have long since been drained of cerulean, as Julius said. The contraption is built in the style of an Imperial war machina armed with a battery of weapons and capable of transforming into different configuration. But on closer inspection, it appears to be no more than a children's slide. Where would this fourth one? Oh, okay. Several points of interest are marked on the map of Form Solace. The pond, children's play areas. To your knowledge, however, none would require the use of cerulean. Oh, it's you. Any luck? There's no sign of any cerulean. Hardly surprising, but disappointing nonetheless. I couldn't help but notice you gazing at that pond. Is something the matter? What? Yes, I mean, no. It's just, I used to bring my brother and sister here to play. The pond was heated to stop it from freezing over, but like all the other children, they just had to wade in and splash about. Would have stayed there if I didn't drag them out. We'd be sopping wet when all was said and done every time. And every time, when we get home, Mother would scold us, saying we'd catch our death walking around like that. The pond was heated. With a cerulean-powered heater by chance? I suppose it must have been. To think of it, I remember seeing the engineers changing out a tank beneath the hatch. But that was a long time ago, when the water still flowed clear and wasn't this brackish muck. We can't see a thing, and I can't remember where the hatch might be. With the machinery most likely broken, the amount of filth in there is probably the only reason it hasn't frozen over. I'd wager it's still unbearably cold, though. Julius, what are your thoughts on magic? The average Gallian would jump out of their skin if they saw it, but the first has a few foreign figure and Medicae, so it doesn't scare me. Then I take it you won't mind if I employ a little now. Alpha Node, as you have a knack for finding dry wood, why don't you bring me some? Once that's done, a blast of earth fire should do the trick. Leave it to me. You're not planning on going in there, are you? Of course I am. That tank isn't going to fetch itself. It's nothing so involved as extracting unprocessed cerulean from a frozen lake, like how the trappers do it. We're talking about a shallow pond in a park, and we have a way of warming ourselves up after. But that's insane. So, fancy a dip? Last one to find a cerulean tank is a rotten egg. Though I dare say we'll both smell like rotten eggs when this is over. You delve into the murky water but come up empty-handed. To add injury to insult, the icy wind on your damp clothing chills you to the bone. God, it's good it's cold. Perhaps we should have listened to Julius after all. You delve into the murky water but come up empty-handed. Beneath the water, your fingers catch on what you think might be a handle. Not holding anything. You open the hatch and retrieve a cerulean tank. However, your grand discovery comes at great personal cost, as you become acutely aware of the freezing cold and the rancid odor emanating from every elm of your body. Julius will doubtless feel compelled to pinch his nose shut when you deliver him your prize. It's cold. It's very cold. Did you find anything? I hope you did. That's it. And there's still some ceruleum left. Ah, the fire's still not ready. Hold on, I'll give Alpha Note a hand. Call me an Uldanian because by fire I am reborn, and my clothes are mostly dry now. I appreciate you recovering the ceruleum, but I wish you'd taken the time to discuss the plan with me beforehand. Despite the way you've been treated, in Lord Quince's eyes, you're still envoys deserving of protection. If you were to die on my watch, he would be most displeased. Your concern is duly noted, but all well that ends well. Julius, you mentioned coming here with your younger siblings. Did you grow up in Garlemald? I did, not far from here. My father was an accomplished researcher in his youth, and for his contribution to the Empire awarded an estate. We lived well, better than many. What was Garlemald like in those days? Everything. It was everything you could imagine, and so much more. Even during the coldest winters, we always found warmth and comfort at home. Coming in from the snow, taking off your coat and sitting down for a hot meal with family. Visiting friends and relatives, receiving that same welcome, knowing they had everything they needed. Walking down the street, seeing the lights in all the houses, hearing the faint sound of laughter and songs of happiness. And although the summers came and went all too quickly, in that brief respite, the ice would melt, and the forgotten grass make its triumphant return. Gray clouds gave way to blue skies. Some mornings, we climbed to the top of the tallest buildings we could find to watch the sunrise. Never again. Those rooftops are rubble, those friends dead, and those memories. But if I could reclaim even a fraction of what we once had. Soon, our chance will come. We just need to hold on a little longer. Well, at least my clothes are finally dry, though the coal still do with a proper wash. Owing to the wealth of experience I've accrued in gathering firewood, I was even able to provide Julius with some basic pointers on the subject. I thought it might help to further build a rapport and to distract him from his other concerns. Alright, now that we've recovered from your escapades in the pond, there's another location I'd like to search, just outside the park. As you can see, this place is littered with the remains of various types of war machina. While my comrades and I have already recovered the tanks from the less damaged units, those that took a more severe beating are harder to scavenge. We decided to save those for another time, that time being now. Rather than prize them apart piece by piece, it would be quicker to remove the outer casing using compact explosives. With luck, we'll gain access to the tanks without rupturing. Though the force generated by these devices are relatively weak, I would advise you staying clear to avoid being hit by shrapnel. Before even bothering though, you should check the Machina ceruleum gauge to see if there is any left. It should still provide an accurate reading even though the unit itself is inactive. If the gauge is broken, I'll let you decide whether to use explosives or not. Should you need more, come to me. Understood. Let's get to work. Be right back. Uh, see if we get lucky. Damn. Proving the cereal tank, you find it to be completely empty. Well, let's just keep blowing up old Magitech armor. Nope, that's empty. What about you? Nope, let's try it. So half full, or half empty, depending on one's perspective. Either way, we will surely be pleased by your discovery. More explosives. Wait, is that what I think it is? You've done it again. Truly, luck is on your side. With this, we should be able to refill quite a few of our heaters. It's time we head it back. Wait here while I go see how Alice and Alphanova are faring. Standing out in the rain, being all sad.
Finally escaped the watchful gaze of your keepers, have we? Don't react. You'll only draw attention to yourself. Just carry on as you are and listen. After you left with the Garlean lad, Lucia bade a few of us scouts follow you at a discreet distance. We observed you being led into the station, but decided against venturing inside. When you emerged sometime later, and we saw that the twins were sporting Magitech collars, it was clear what had taken place. Now, as quietly as you can, tell me everything. The Legatus himself, eh? Now there's a surprise. This is also the first I've heard of a plan to join forces with the 10th and storm the Tower of Babel. An interesting development. And perhaps the opportunity we've been waiting for. Our comrades back at the camp also received some rather promising news, but it's still too early to get our hopes up. For now, keeping yourselves out of harm's way comes before all else. Whatever demands the Guardians make, indulge them. With luck, this will all be over soon. Until then.
They had not gone far.
We searched high and low, but no luck, I'm afraid. I might have guessed you'd be the only one to find anything.
I wasn't expecting much to begin with. Eventually, there will be nothing left out here for us to safely salvage. For now, this will have to suffice. We should return to the station.
Ah, there you are. Heard you'd gone hunting for ceruleum above ground. Brought back a king's ransom?
Hardly. But thanks to these three, we have enough to last a little while longer.
Well, well. It's not at all as I was expecting, these ones. For savages, they seem positively docile. It's a poor attempt at humor. In all honesty, I'm grateful for your efforts. But even with another night of warmth, there are those among us who may not live to see the morrow.
I trust your expedition was fruitful.
Lord Quintus!
Use what you procured to refuel the armor.
But, sir, what about the heaters for the camp?
The time for action is upon us. My men and I have matters to discuss. In the meantime, you are to wait here. Do not forget, you are being watched.
The time for action. What did he mean by that?
I can only speculate. Clearly something requiring their magitech, given what we just heard. Whether they plan to utilize it now, or after they join with the 10th, is another question. Will they ever escape this cold? Return to and reclaim the idyllic spaces of which Eula spoke?
Finished your war, Council?
Alphino and Alizé are to stay here as our prisoners. They will be released once your comrades have relinquished their supplies and withdrawn from Garlean soil.
Oh,
until our terms are met, they will be detained at a separate location.
Yeah, you fucked up, bud.
After everything we've said and done, This is how you treat us.
Our allies have but limited supplies. They may stave off cold and starvation for a short while, but what then?
For now, keeping yourselves out of harm's way comes before all else. Whatever demands the Guardians make, indulge them.
Get them out of here.
I'm not mad at you, Julius. You're just following orders. I understand that. Still kind of want to slap you, though. Alphanode and Alice will be fine, providing they do not resist. Alright, I want to take a bit of a break, get some lunch. I might actually treat myself to something decently nice today. So, I will be back, I'd say like an hour and a half. Just go get some food, do a little bit more stuff around the house. So, I'll be back shortly.